Ever wonder how Python, a language known for being so, user-friendly, manages to power some of the most complex applications, like the ones we use every single day?
Right. It's kind of mind-blowing when you think about it.
It really is. And the secret lies in something called a C API.
Mm-hmm.
Basically, it's like a bridge that lets Python tap into the raw power of C.
Okay, yeah.
And today, we're diving deep into a project that's causing a real buzz in the tech world, HPY.
Oh, I've heard of this.
Yeah, we've got a stack of discussions from Hacker News about HPY.
Cool.
And let me tell you, things get pretty interesting. Some people are really excited, others, well, not so much.
I can imagine. See, what's fascinating here is that while Python is great for many things, when you need pure speed, it often relies on C to get the job done.
Makes sense.
Like, take libraries like NumPy, for example. It's a workhorse in data science.
That's absolutely. Everyone uses NumPy.
Right. And it's often written in C for that very reason, for speed. The C API is what allows your Python code to access that raw computational power.
So having an efficient C API isn't just some, abstract developer concern.
No, not at all.
It actually impacts a ton of applications that we use every single day.
Exactly. It really does.
Okay, so Python needs to talk to C to unlock that extra power. Got it.
Yep.
But from what I'm reading in these Hacker News threads, it seems like developers have some, let's say, frustrations with how things are currently done.
Yeah.
Like what? One developer even went as far as to describe dealing with compile and link flags as a mess, with packages using hard-coded solutions just to get by.
Ouch. Yeah, that's not ideal. It can get pretty hairy.
Not exactly elegant coding, right? And it sounds like this stable ABI thing is a big deal too.
It is. And a stable ABI or application binary interface is super important for compatibility.
Compatibility? How so?
It's like having a universal adapter, right?
Right.
Code compiled for one Python version can work seamlessly on another without needing to be recompiled every time.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, which is huge, because who wants to be stuck recompiling everything every time they update Python, right?
Totally. That sounds like a nightmare.
It saves a ton of time and headaches, especially for developers who need their code to run on different systems and Python versions, which is, well, most people these days.
Right, because who wants to be stuck with a program that only works on one specific setup?
Exactly.
It's like trying to fit a square peg into a round hole.
Exactly. A good analogy.
And speaking of headaches, another developer was saying how difficult it is to make those Python extensions play nicely across different Python versions, like 3.7, 3.8, all those.
Oh, yeah, for sure. I've been there.
And they were saying that this makes CI/CD pipelines, those automated processes that make sure your code is ready to be released.
Yeah.
They were saying it makes those pipelines a real pain.
Absolutely. It can really slow things down. And it can turn what should be a smooth process into this long and complex ordeal.
Not good.
Not good at all. The current C API, it can be a real bottleneck for developers, forcing them to use workarounds and all these weird hacks just to get things working.
It makes you wonder, why even bother?
And it's not ideal for a language as widely used and loved as Python. You want things to be smooth, right? You want things to just work.
It sounds like we've got developers caught between a rock and a hard place here.
In a way, yeah.
They need to use C to get that extra performance boost.
Right.
But the way things are set up now is, well, kind of clunky.
Yeah, it can be.
Yeah.
And that's where this HPY thing comes in, right?
Exactly. That's where HPY swoops in, promising a brighter future for all of us.
Okay, so tell me more about HPY.
But before we get into all the details of HPY,
Sure.
Let's take a quick breather. When we come back, we'll unpack exactly what HPY is, why people are so excited about it, and why some folks are, well, a little bit more cautious.
Sounds good. I'm ready to dive in.
We'll be back in a flash. All right, so we're back and ready to really dig into this whole HPY thing.
Yeah, let's go.
From what I'm seeing, it's getting a lot of attention as, like, the potential solution to all of Python's C API woes,
Yeah, I'm seeing that too.
People are calling it a game changer, a breath of fresh air, all of that.
Big claims.
They are. But what is HPY exactly? It's like, imagine you have these two amazing workshops.
Okay.
Right? One has all the best Python tools you could ever want, and the other one, it's packed with this powerful C machinery.
I like where this is going.
And they can build incredible things together, right?
Yes.
But the way they talk to each other, it's like this old, clunky intercom system. You know the ones I'm talking about.
Uh-huh. Yeah, I get it. Those crackly things.
Exactly. So HPY is like replacing that old intercom with this super sleek, modern system, making it faster, smoother, just way easier for the two workshops to work together.
Okay, I like that analogy. That makes a lot of sense. So HPY is all about making that connection between Python and C a whole lot smoother and easier for developers to actually build extensions and make them run faster.
Yes. And potentially on all different kinds of Python platforms, not just the usual one.
Right, which is a big deal because it could make Python itself faster.
Wait, hold on. Are we talking like noticeably faster?
Yeah, potentially.
Yeah.
Especially on those alternative runtimes like PyPy, GrailVM, all those.
Wow. That's kind of huge.
It's exciting. It really is. Think about what that could mean for like data science, machine learning, web development, all these fields that already use Python all the time.
It would be like a massive upgrade for a lot of people.
Absolutely.
Okay, so let me get this straight. We're talking about easier ways to build extensions, faster Python code, smoother compatibility, all because of HPY. Is this thing starting to sound a little too good to be true?
Well, whenever you have this much excitement about a new tech, there's always some healthy skepticism.
Always.
And we're definitely seeing that in these Hacker News threads.
Of course. Every innovation is going to have its doubters, right? Those people who say, hold on, let's not get ahead of ourselves.
Absolutely.
Which is good. It's important to hear those voices too.
It is, absolutely.
So what are the skeptics saying about HPY? Where are the doubts creeping in?
Well, one of the main things people are talking about are the performance claims.
Yeah, the speed.
Right. One commenter mentioned that the benchmarks they saw were from like 2019.
Oh, wow. Okay.
And they were saying, look, we need to see some more up-to-date comparisons, especially against how CPython is doing these days with all its optimizations and stuff.
Yeah, technology moves so fast, right? That was impressive a few years ago might be like standard now.
Exactly. And it's a completely fair point. To really know if HPY lives up to all the hype, we need to see how it stacks up against the competition today, a head-to-head.
Like those car commercials, they'll say, the fastest ever, but then you read the fine print and it's like, compared to previous models.
Exactly. Classic marketing trick. We need to see the real deal with HPY,
Absolutely, no smoke and mirrors.
And the debate actually goes beyond just raw speed.
It's less about, like, hitting speed bumps and more about whether HPY is really going to change the game for, the average Python developer.
Right. Is this going to be something everyone's using or just a niche tool for a small group?
Exactly.
It's the big question, isn't it? And someone actually brought up a good point. They were saying that a lot of developers already use things like PyBundle11 and Cython to make Python and C work together.
Okay, yeah.
So if HPY is mostly for people working directly with that lower level C API.
Yeah.
It might not be as widely impactful as some people are saying.
It's like, I don't know, inventing a self-driving bicycle. Like, yeah, that's cool and all, but most people are either fine with their regular bikes or they've already moved on to cars.
Okay, yeah, I get what you're saying. It might not be a revolution for everyone then. But there's still that whole singleton issue that some people were talking about.
That one sounded pretty technical. Like, you need your own dictionary to understand it.
It is a bit in the weeds. It has to do with how HPY handles context, which is basically how it manages resources and internal stuff. Imagine, like, a busy kitchen with a bunch of chefs all needing to use the same stove, ingredients, everything.
Okay, I'm picturing it.
So the singleton issue is about how well HPY coordinates all of that behind the scenes.
To make sure everyone's got what they need when they need it.
Exactly. And the commenter was saying that while HPY definitely improves on the old C API in a lot of ways, this singleton thing might need a bit more work to avoid potential issues.
So HPY is like upgrading the kitchen, giving it all new appliances and everything, but maybe the layout of the kitchen still needs some tweaking, to make it really efficient.
Exactly. And that's what I love about these deep dives. We get to hear the whole spectrum of opinions, from the excitement about the potential to the, hold on a second, let's see what happens.
Totally. And even those super technical debates that we can barely follow but we know are important.
They're all part of it.
Yeah.
And those debates are going to shape how this all plays out.
It's a good reminder that in tech, things move so fast, but it's still crucial to, take a step back and think things through.
Absolutely.
So let's do that. Let's take a step back. What if, and this is a big what if, but what if HPY actually delivers on everything? The speed, the compatibility, all of it.
That's the dream, isn't it?
It is. What would that even mean for Python as a whole?
Well, as we've been saying, a faster, more efficient Python, that opens up so many possibilities.
Oh, yeah.
Especially in fields where it's already being used a ton. I mean, imagine even more powerful tools for analyzing data, for machine learning, for building websites.
It'd be like strapping a rocket to something that's already going super fast.